Okay, welcome to the first of the playlist videos, 2010 to 2019. You'll have to excuse me, I need to use my notes. Too much information to impart, and I want to do it relatively quickly so as you can get on to the fun bit of listening. So, we're going to talk about this decade. Now, this decade is the one that's just been. It's a little trickier to get the iconic albums and everything because it's so close. It's very easy to tell what was good from the 70s because of the passage of time, whereas not a lot of time's passed. But I have explored a few, and I'm very open to suggestions that perhaps I missed someone out. There's a few good Kiwi artists in there too. Anyway, let's get on to the world events. The one that really sticks in my mind, very big, is 2019, the Australian bushfires. I holidayed, I'll say that again, I holidayed over there during that time. It was actually in January 2020. But the Australian bushfires started. Now, what have I got? They went from June 2019 to May 2020. That's a long time. And it was really hard on Australia. Still is probably really hard on Australia. And as we were there, it was quite moving, talking with people in different campgrounds, watching it. Very, very intense. I can say that the big thing was climate skeptics do not help at times like these. Moving on, more of the world events. 2011, you have the tsunami that hit Japan. Now, because of the time period, now you can actually watch these things live, and I found that very disturbing, and my heart went out to Japan, and still does, and they've done an amazing job of coming back from that. And of course, at the same time, 2010, we had the Canterbury earthquake, which was pretty upsetting and powerful in New Zealand. It always brings you to a certain sort of sense of humility when the planet moves and we all jump, 4th of September that was, 2010. 2014, on a slightly different note, but still crazy note, we're still chucking rockets at each other. We've got conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Now, moving on to more exciting things, 2017, the Cassini space, say that again, the Cassini space probe crashed into Saturn. Well, was actually deliberately flown into Saturn's atmosphere, and they knew it would blow up. You can't land on Saturn because it's mainly gases, and the gases just get more compressed as you go. Anyway, the amazing thing about that Cassini space probe, 20 years service, 13 years of that exploring the system of Saturn itself, the moons, discovering all sorts of amazing things. 13 years exploration, 7 years to get there. 1.2 billion kilometres away from this planet. Hard to comprehend that, but 1.2 billion kilometres is a very long way. And there we are, out there checking it out. I believe that says something really cool about humanity. And also, 2015, I watched this one closely myself. My favourite planet, Pluto, was visited by the New Horizons space probe. An amazing feat by all involved of how they got this. Now that's 7.5 billion kilometres away. Long way. Wouldn't want to commute, yeah? So, apologies. They managed to visit on the 14th, what have I got here? The 14th of July 2015. You can watch all those approaches and everything on a well-documented channel on YouTube. So, and I have, as I said, favourite planet. It got demoted. Understand why? Because of its place in our solar system. Still a fascinating world. Okay, coming back to 2017, let's look at some movies. My favourite, a lot of people's favourite, Thor Ragnarok by Taika Waititi. Yes, our man. And he brought that whole Kiwi humour to it. So, like, for the Kiwis, we just loved it. So, my favourite movie probably of the decade. Where are we going after that? Oh, yes. Okay. Now, this is a bit sad. This is what we sometimes is referred to as the year music died, 2016. Mainly the pop artists, and I've just listed some of my favourites. But have a listen to this. In the year of 2016, these amazing artists past. David Bowie, Glenn Frey of the Eagles, Maurice White, Keith Emerson, Prince, Leonard Cohen, Leon Russell, amazing pianist. For us pianists, that's, yeah, but they all leave their work behind for us to enjoy, so that is a good thing. And George Michael, I so felt that guy had so much more to say, as I often feel when artists pass too young. So we lost them. 2015, though, we celebrated the birth of our famous New Zealand classical composer, Douglas Lilburn, although you can't really call him a classical composer because he was born into the modern era. His works are great. I've played some on the channel. I like a lot of his stuff, but the real big part of that was so awesome was that we held a conference here with the Music Teachers Institute celebrating creativity, and through that I kind of learned that we have grown so much from this one or two people perhaps we will listen to as a New Zealand artist to this huge amount of quality artists in all the genres, jazz, the classics, and the pop. And it's really, really heartening to see. You'll see in the playlist the amount of New Zealand artists, and I just keep stumbling over more and more and more. Our whole attitude has changed there. That is a wonderful thing. Moving on, 2011, another wonderful thing took place, well, 2011 and 2015, and it has to be acknowledged, the ABs won the World Cup twice in a row. It was incredibly exciting, especially the first final goal. 1 point in it. Awesome for rugby, awesome for us, just loved it. And thanks guys for all the efforts, that was awesome. Okay, 2010. Now, this is something that's kind of more a shift in attitude and everything. The advance of the smartphone, I used to avoid using mobile phones. Now I cannot be without my smartphone. It just does so much for me. What smartphones has also done, and why it's been mentioned here, is because of its impact on our creativity and our musicality. Now anyone can put forward a relatively good recording, and if you've got some good performances and that sort of stuff, it's changed everything. The amount of content that can be created, the amount of really good music that is being worked at and created. The smartphone has brought about things like crowdfunding and the whole advancement of moving music away from corporations to the realization that people can create a following, and it doesn't have to be a major following. The concept of 1,000 fans can create an online music business. So this all came around about this time and is continuing to develop, and the smartphone and what it can do for us. Okay, so that's 2010, 2019. Hope you enjoy. I will see you in 2009.